It's all happening at the Kaaba. I just want to reinvigorate the same lines today. It's all happening in India at the moment with a big match coming up, India versus Australia at MH Chidambaram Stadium this afternoon. And we're all asking as mustard. Here we are. I'm Shankar, coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. And I've got two good mates, my childhood friends, and we are a bunch of cricket fanatics, passionate cricket fans to follow this lovely game, play it as well as still going on. And on my right of the screen is Yogesh from Seattle. And on my right of the screen is Rahul, Naam to suna hoga, from Boston. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining us on this show. And we are going to bring you with some of the updates. We're going to bring you with some pre-match reviews. So how are you guys feeling today?
I'm feeling super excited. This is a big game coming up, and it's the World Cup.
And what about you, Yogesh?
I'm thrilled. Looking forward for this game. We've been
Nice.
waiting for this World Cup for months now, with India as the big host. So cannot wait for the game to begin.
I know. We're all waiting for this. Absolutely spot on. Now, starting with the squad. Now, before that, I just going to explain to our viewers. We're going to break this into three segments. The first segment, we are going to talk about selection. The second segment is going to be about the pitch, which is one of the crucial factors for everyone. And the third segment, which you all guys have will love it, is going to be the crucial players in today's match. So starting off with the first segment, which is obviously the squad, the $1 million question. Always, which is one of the crucial aspects, who is going to be in your squad. Now, we know that Shubman Gill is a bit doubtful today. He suffered from a dengue. Rohit has just kept it very close to his heart on the selection. I think they're going to just make the announcement at the 11th hour, see how we go. Uh, but having said that, now the most important person right now in the last 2 months who've been thick of things, our number one test bowler, Ashwin, hails from Chennai. That's where the match is going to be held, guys. Would you have him into the squad straight away? Again, co-spinner Kuldeep Yadav. Would you still have him or would you have him out of the squad? What do you reckon, Yogesh?
Yeah, absolutely. So Ashwin has been the most hyped player of this selection. And then I think there was a reason why he was given this opportunity against the Australia series in the three games that he played. He has done relatively well. So I think he walks in, especially because it's his home ground. And not just that, he's a street smart cricketer. Australians are aware of how dangerous Ashwin could be. So they are a bit wary of him, and there is a mind game going on there as well. So I do believe Ashwin walks in right into the team, at least for the first game. Kuldeep, of course, makes his way as the lead spinner because he has demonstrated that he can take the ball and turn a lot and take wickets. So those will be my two spinners along with Jadeja.
Now that's interesting, Yoga. And what about Rahul? What's your view on that?
I'm a bit of an Ashwin truther. Some people call me a bit of a fanboy for Ashwin, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. But
Yep,
yes, I think Ashwin definitely walks into the 11.
yep.
I somewhat disagree with you, Yogesh. You mentioned that Kuldeep is an automatic selection in the 11. I don't think so. That being said, if not against this opposition and not at this venue, I don't know when you would pick Kuldeep. So yes, I would pick Kuldeep tomorrow, even though I'm a little circumspect about his abilities and the impact on the game. I would pick him in the 11, and Ashwin, he has to be there. I think we have to learn from our mistakes. Where there have been many times in the last few years where we've dropped Ashwin and regretted that. So yeah, Ashwin and Kuldeep along with Jadeja, and I'm looking
Nice.
forward to 30 overs a spin and putting the shackles on the Australians by these three.
Now, absolutely spot on. I think I'll have Ashwin straight away in my squad. I think he's been the linchpin in the test arena. And I think he brings that experience with him, his shrewdness, the cunningness, and obviously Australians do have a fear about him. I do agree with you, Rahul. I don't think so. Kuldeep Yadav. I know people have this hype of getting Kuldeep Yadav. The way he's done in the last 2 months, exemplary. But having said that, I also have a bit of a kind of a feeling where our batting gets a bit derailed. When I say that, obviously, you're looking at 8, 9, 10, 11. When you're picking Kuldeep Yadav, Kuldeep comes at 8 and 9. So that's a bit of a problem. I don't like. Uh, we need a bigger. We don't need a bigger tail. So that's one of the concerns. So, but yes, I do agree. Ashwin needs to be straight into the squad. Now, my other question would be to you two guys. You know how Bumrah is. Bumrah is our key bowler. Now, would you have the hot form, Mohammad Siraj, or would you have the experienced warhorse, none less than Mohammad Shami, into the squad supporting Bumrah? Who would you go for?
I think I would choose Siraj. He has been in an exceptional form of late. Obviously, everybody remembers the six-wicket haul he took against the Sri Lankans and made a mockery of the Asian Cup final. Um, I would pick him ahead of Shami. Nothing against Shami. Shami has been a great bowler. His seam placement is as close to perfect as it gets. But I would choose Siraj and Bumrah. And yes, because we're choosing Kuldeep, I would leave Shami out so that our tail isn't too long. What do you think, Yogesh?
Yeah, Shami doesn't make the cut. Siraj is his red hot form. He has demonstrated that in the Asia Cup. If Siraj has to come, or if Shami has to come in, Jadeja will have to make room for him, which I don't see happening. Jadeja is a good lower order batsman, a left-hander as well, and a left-arm bowler. So I don't think Shami has a place right now. Maybe we could see Shami in further games against teams like Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, and then to have bigger matchups, we'll have Siraj playing in big games.
No, I absolutely agree with both of you on that occasion. I think Siraj walks in straight away with his hot form. I think he's got the line and length, and he's always at you as a batsman, and that scares me as a batsman. You know, he's having those odd bounces. He pulls that length, which is very hard. So I think straight away Siraj is in. Now, from an Australian perspective, this is where it gets very tricky, guys. I know how Australians have looked after our boy Cam Green, the young lad, and he's done well for some time. But looking at his last few games, would you guys pick Sangha ahead of him or to support Maxi and Zampa in the turning track of Chennai? Yogesh, over to you.
I think Sangha would be a good choice. However, Australia would prefer experience over spin, and that's why
Yep.
I think they would prefer all-rounders Cameron Green over Sangha. There is also a matchup between Cameron Green and Marcus Stoinis, and Cameron Green wins that one as well, owing to his experience in playing in the subcontinent. And Australia has done a lot of investment into him as a batsman as well, not just as a bowler. He can be destructive as well. He can bat in the middle order. Stoinis can bat only in the lower order. So Cameron Green makes his way. Sangha will have to wait for his opportunity. And even though this is a turning pitch, it's also a pressure game against the host country, which are the leading contenders. So Green makes the cut over Sangha.
Thanks,
Yeah,
thanks, Yogesh.
my take is pretty similar. Sangha looks pretty promising, but we haven't had enough of a sample set in the international matches
Mm.
to evaluate Sangha. I think for right now, keeping him on the bench is the right way to go.
I do agree with both of you on a lot of aspects, but I do feel Cam Green, we know how Australians feel about Cam Green. You know, we do feel that he's got the talent. He's something who's very special in terms of his all-round ability to bat and bowl. But just looking at Chennai track, guys, I might just have him. I just want to just experiment. I know it's the first game, and there's a long way to go. They're on like it's just like an IPL. They've got 9 matches to play each other. I just have a feeling that they just want to probably go with the Indian origin, give him a bit of a chance in here and move Cam Green out just for this match. You've got a good batting lineup. You've got the all-rounders there. So I think I might just go with him at the moment. But thanks for your view on that. That just gets us the first segment. Now, moving on to the second segment, this is where it gets very interesting, guys. I know a lot of people talk about the segment, which is pitch. You know, pitch has got everything. As we all say, the nature of the pitch. I just wanted to point out specifically about the MH Chidambaram Stadium. Now, the nature of the pitch up here is one side of the pitch is slightly shorter as compared to the other. Pitch has always produced even amount of grass. So that's always there. Playing surface is very hard. It does slow down. It does slow down in the second half with more turn. So that's the nature of pitch. And just want to give you a bit of a stats, guys. It's not very pleasant from an Indian perspective, but we've played last 5 games in the span of 10 years at MH Chidambaram Stadium, and Indian side has lost 3 out of those 5. Reason being the recent one, March 2023, where Australia played India in the bilateral series. That was a decider, and India lost that game. Australia scored about 269. Now, the most important man who is in the hot form, Mitch Marsh, he scored about 50 odd runs in there, and India lost out. They were going very well at one stage. Kohli was going at around 50, 54. He got out, and he was well supported by Pandya. Pandya is a crucial guy, but then they lost their way out, and they dropped like 10 pins, and India lost that match. Again, going back to 2019, West Indies literally beat them 9 wicket victory. India scored about 289. Shai Hope and Ed Meyer scored a massive 100. And going back to 2017, that's where we had India again. Hardik Pandya scoring 86 of 66 balls. India batted first, 281 for 7 against South Africa, and South Africa fell short there. So these are the stats. India have lost 2 games out of 5 games. Now, what do you think, guys? So, what would be the pitch like? Would it assist the turn, or do you think India might just opt out a bit of a flat track here?
Well,
Over to you.
it's the Chidambaram Stadium. I would expect it to get slower and lower as the time goes on.
Yeah,
Especially talking about the 11 that we chose, Ashwin, Jadeja, and Kuldeep. I would expect Indian bowlers, Indian spinners to be putting 30 overs of spin. Doesn't matter if we bat first or bowl first. But yeah, I think I think we've seen in the first few games of the World Cup, the first 5 to 6 overs, the seamers still have the advantage. After that, it becomes a bit of a batting paradise. And then after 20th over is when the pitch can start slowing down. I think that's what's going to happen tomorrow. And the spinners should come into play.
that's a
Yeah,
nice view. Thank you.
yeah, I agree. The par score, or not the par score, the average score on this pitch has been 273. So it's going to be a pitch that slows down a little bit after in the game. Spinners come into play. Jadeja has played a lot of games on this pitch because he plays for CSK. Ashwin's home ground is Chennai, so they will be really crucial. From a pitch perspective, of course, it will support spin as it always does. Uh, Teams would try to aim around 270 to 80,
Yeah,
and 300 could be a very good score for a team batting first. And from a pitch perspective, the team that wins the toss would want to bat first.
that makes it very interesting. That makes toss all that important, guys.
Yeah, it
I
does.
also just want to point out something very important in terms of. I know we want to. I just wanted to mention this to our audience. We are going to be more data driven, so I just want to point out something very interesting here. The dew factor, which is always considered a big thing in India. Now, in the month of October, there is no dew in Chennai. So Chennai doesn't have much of dew in this month. It only starts in November. So I think that becomes very crucial to win the toss and bat first. Score about the par score, around 275, 280 mark, and you have 3 spinners, all shrewd, and get the ball rolling, mate. That's it. Uh, Now this brings us end to this area. Now the third segment, it's all about crucial players. Come on, guys, we've got some really good crucial players. Yes. So I just wanted to start with Yogesh here. With this big game, uh, who would you think are your crucial players? And also give me a reason to that.
Yeah, of course. From an Australian perspective, my key players will be one, Mitch Marsh. He has been the top of the order player, giving them flying starts and a lot of times converting that into hundreds. Mitch Marsh is extremely crucial. Number two, Adam Zampa. He is their key leg spinner. He has to bowl well if Australia has to win this game. And third one is Maxwell. Maxwell is a game changer. He took 3 wickets in the practice game against India, and he at the lower order can be lethal if he scores 70 odd in 40 balls. he can turn the game on its head. And when 270, 280 could be achievable, Maxwell could take you to 330, 340. So those are the three Australian players. From an Indian perspective, I would say Hardik Pandya. He has been the wicket taker for India in the 11 to 20 over phase. So if he can chip in with a few wickets, that's going to be super critical. Number two is, I wouldn't say key, but a very crucial is player for India is Shreyas Iyer at number four. While we talk about the Rahuls and the Virats and the Rohits, if India has loses two early wickets, and Shreyas has to come in the first 10 overs, he has to make sure he bats out like 25, 30 overs. So he's going to be the key. So Pandya and Shreyas for India and Marsh, Maxwell and Zampa for Australia are critical players and their performance will depend a lot, or the team would depend a lot on their performance.
Thanks, Yogesh. That was very key. What about you, Rahul? What do you reckon?
Well, I gotta say, there's going to be 22 key players. All 11 from both teams are going to be very
That's
important.
interesting. That's interesting. You
It's
just don't
it's
want to put a bet on anyone.
it's a huge game. These are the two favorites, and these two are starting their campaigns against each other. But no, if I had to choose, whoever is going to open with Rohit, is that if that's going to be Ishan Kishan or KL Rahul, I think that person is going to play a key part. Um, Rohit has shown some form, but he's shown the tendency to get out in the 50s and 60s and not make a big score after that. It depends on if Ishan Kishan opens or if KL Rahul opens. At this point, I would rather see KL Rahul open with Rohit. But yeah, if he does open and if he plays a good inning, I think that could go a long way. Um, you talked about Shreyas Iyer, Yogesh. Um, I'm not sure if it's a given if Shreyas is going to be the number four guy or if Surya Kumar still has a chance. But again, whoever comes in at that place is going to play a key part. From an Australian perspective, boy, Mitchell Stark, he gives me the heebie-jeebies. The way he destroyed the Netherlands, wow, he was swinging the ball, moving it. If Australia bowl first, and if we are 5 for 4 at the end of the fifth over, it's game over. So yeah, Mitchell Stark's first few overs are going to be very, very, very key.
Oh, lovely inputs there, Rahul and Yogesh. I just wanted to conclude on this aspect. My Australian perspective, I agree with Yogesh. Maxi, I've always been a fan of Maxi. You know how what he brings to the game, whether it's
Yeah.
fielding, whether it's bowling, it's batting. He's a game changer. He can have a quick 30 balls 60, and he can give you that off spin which is needed. Not turn big, just that mild spin, and he takes the edges. And specifically in the warm-up games, he has done really well. I have a feeling that Maxi is going to be one of the crucial game changer. But having said that, yes, Mitch Marsh, boy, as you said, Raul, he's this guy is going really big. He has been there in Australian squad for some time. He's always joked around. Cam Green takes over ahead of him, but now he's really done well. I think he's going to be the game changer from an Indian perspective. This is very interesting. This is where I wanted to also put you another question there, but I'll just keep it there. I have a feeling Hale Rahul. I think he's going to be good in the middle of the innings. I don't see him as the opener. I think Ishan. We should go with Ishan at this stage as an opener. Yes, Gill. We would love to have Gill straight away, but since if Gill is not there, Ishan Kishan comes into play straight away. But my crucial player would be the man, King Kohli. How can you forget him? I know Stephen Smith from an Australian perspective. These two obviously are the goats of the game. You can never take them away, can you?
True that. True that. They've been at this for a long, long, long time.
And be mindful, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. Again, Rohit, you can't take him away as well. These three, in fact, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Stephen Smith, they could be playing the last World Cup. They've got everything at their stake, mate, and they want to do their best. They want this cup badly. Like Tendulkar needed that World Cup. They want it. They're very keen, and I don't see them, failing. I don't see them. So I have a feeling that these two or those three going to be game changer. Now this concludes our segment. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys liked it. Please do put your comments. Please subscribe. Please like us. We're going to bring us more updates. We're going to also bring you after the match session where we will analyze situations, what went wrong, what went right for both of the teams. And we're going to upload that in a few more hours. But thank you. Put as much comments as you can. Can keep those likes and subscribes. Share with everyone. Thank you very much. And thanks, Rahul. And thanks, Yoga.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, Shankar. Let's have a cracker of a game.
Lovely. See ya. See you guys. Thank you.
Bye.